What if the greatest scientific achievement in human history also become one of the humanity's greatest moral failures? When we think of science, we often imagine progress, innovations, and solutions to the world problem. But Oppenheimer asks a far more uncomfortable questions. What happens when scientific knowledge becomes so powerful it's enough to destroy civilization itself? Today, I will be reviewing Oppenheimer through the lens of history and philosophy of science, exploring not only what happened during the Manhattan Project, but how the world's most destructive weapon was created in the name of world peace.
Let's go recruit some scientists. Build a town, build it fast. If we don't let scientists bring their families, we'll never get the best.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
Why? Why? How about because this is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world?
You're the great improviser, but this you can't do in your head.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world? Chances are near zero. Near zero. What do you want from theory alone? Zero would be nice.
Oppenheimer is a 2023 historical biographical film directed by Christopher Nolan. The film follows by the life of physicist of J. Robert Oppenheimer, often known as the father of atomic bomb, and his leadership of the Manhattan Project during the World War II. Although it appears to be a film about war and nuclear weapons, Oppenheimer is actually a story about something much deeper: the relationship between scientific discoveries and human responsibility. The film begins by introducing Oppenheimer as a brilliant theoretical physicist fascinated by the mysteries of the universe. As World War II intensifies, fears grow that Nazi Germany may develop an atomic bomb first. In response, the United States of America launches the Manhattan Project, bringing together some of the world's brightest scientists to build the world's first atomic bomb in a race against time. After years of research, calculations, and experimentations, the team successfully developed the world's first nuclear weapon. The Trinity test marks a historical scientific breakthrough. However, the triumph quickly becomes a moral dilemma when atomic bombs are dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The remainder of the film explores Oppenheimer's growing realizations that the weapon he created had consequences beyond the laboratory. At its core, the film is about scientific progress, moral responsibility, political power, and unintended consequences of innovations. The purpose behind the development of the atomic bomb initially seemed very straightforward: build the weapon before the Nazi Germany and bring an end to the war. Throughout much of the film, Oppenheimer and his colleagues focus on solving scientific and engineering problems. Their mission is clear: unlock the power of atomic bomb before the Nazis to achieve world peace. However, the film's message extends far beyond the creation of the bomb itself. One particularly interesting moment involves a physicist, Edward Teller, who proposed the development of the hydrogen bomb, which is 100 times more powerful than the atomic bomb that is used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Oppenheimer opposed the idea because he feared that the humanity was entering a dangerous new era where scientific progress could outpace ethical responsibility. This moment highlights Oppenheimer's transformation throughout the film. What begins a scientific mission to end the war gradually will become a moral struggle about the consequences of scientific discovery. Even though he tried to stop the development of more nuclear weapons at the end, you can see from the history review that Oppenheimer failed to stop it. The US and the Soviet Union has joined the race of building more nuclear weapons and developed more than thousands of nuclear weapons that can destroy the world multiple times. From the perspective of history of science, the film demonstrated that scientific discoveries do not occur in isolation. The Manhattan Project was shaped by World War II, political competitions, and government investments. This shows that how historical circumstances often influence the direction of scientific research. From the perspective of the philosophy of science, the film raises an important question: does scientific progress always lead to human progress? The atomic bomb was one of the greatest scientific achievements of the 20th century. It represented extraordinary advances in physics, engineering, and collaborations, yet it also introduces the possibility that of mass. Does the scientific progress always lead to the human progress? The atomic bomb was one of the greatest scientific achievements of the 20th century. It represents extraordinary advances in physics, engineering, and collaborations, yet it also introduced the possibility of mass destructions of an unprecedented scale. This suggested that scientific success and human well-being are not always the same thing. A discovery that can be scientific brilliant while simultaneously creating serious ethical and social consequences that can hold a negative impact to human society. The film also raises another question. If scientists create knowledge that leads to harm, are they responsible for the outcome? Some philosophers argue that science itself is neutral because it only produces knowledge. According to this perspective, responsibility relies on politicians and government who decide how to use the knowledge itself. However, the film challenges this view. Oppenheimer suggests that scientists cannot completely separate from the consequences of their discoveries. It actually questions concern whether all knowledge should be pursued. Even though science encourages curiosity and exploration itself, Oppenheimer forces us to ask whether there should be ethical limits during scientific research. Just because of humanity is capable of creating a knowledge, does that mean it should? The question remains relevant today. The same debate also exists in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and also autonomous weapons systems. One of the greatest strengths of Oppenheimer is its ability to transform historical events into philosophical discussion. Rather than portraying Oppenheimer as a hero or a villain, Christopher Nolan presents himself as a scientist struggling with the consequences of his own success. However, because of the film is largely told through Oppenheimer's perspective, it gives a limited attention to the experience of the victim of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Including this perspective could have provided a more balanced view of the ethical consequences of nuclear weapons. Personally, this film changed the way I think about science and technology. Before watching Oppenheimer, I often view scientific progress as something that is natural benefit to humanity itself. However, the film made me realize that scientific success and human well-being are not always the same thing. As a computer science student specializing in AI, I actually found this lesson actually quite relevant to me. Like nuclear technology, AI has the potential to improve life, but can also create risks if developed without sufficient ethical consideration, such as fewer job opportunities for the public and also privacy issues. The most important lesson that I learned is that being a scientist and an engineer is not only about creating new technologies. It's about considering the long-term impact on the society itself. Ultimately, Oppenheimer has actually taught me that humanity's greatest challenge is not whether we can build powerful technologies, but whether we can use it wisely to enhance the living in the human society. In conclusion, Oppenheimer is much more than a film itself. It's not about atomic bomb only. It's a powerful reflection on science, ethics, and also humanity itself. Through its portrayal of Manhunter Project, it demonstrates that how scientific discoveries can reshape history. Through its exploration of Oppenheimer's moral struggle, it challenges us to think critically about the responsibility of acquiring certain knowledge. Ultimately, Oppenheimer reminds us that science gives us extraordinary power, but philosophy helps us decide how the power should be used. That's all. Thank you for watching this video.